there, restaurant recipe lovers. Welcome back to The Daily Dish, a copycat.com podcast where I help you recreate your favorite restaurant dishes right in your own kitchen. Stephanie Mealy, and I've been recreating your favorite recipes since 1995. Before we jump into today's sweet treat, I want to take a moment to thank all of you wonderful listeners who have been sending your recipe photos through our website and sharing your cooking stories through Pinterest. Your enthusiasm for recreating restaurant favorites at home truly keeps me motivated to develop new recipes each week. As always, you can find the complete written version of today's recipe on copycat.com, and there's a direct link in the show notes of this episode. There you'll find all of the exact measurements, helpful photos, and detailed instructions to ensure your success. Now today we are diving into a nostalgic favorite that many of you love, and it's the CiCi's cherry dessert pizza. This unique creation combines a pizza crust, cherry pie filling, a buttery streusel topping, a sweet vanilla glaze, and it's the perfect dessert for pizza night that offers something different from the usual cookies or brownies. I first tried this delightful dessert a few years ago during a family outing to CiCi's Pizza Buffet. My kids were absolutely thrilled to discover they could have pizza for dessert. Unfortunately, CiCi's does not always carry this on their buffet, but you can recreate it with this easy recipe. What makes this recipe particularly appealing for budget-conscious home cooks is that you can make an entire cherry dessert pizza that serves 8 people for the same cost as going out for a fancy dessert. Plus, you can customize it to your taste preferences or dietary needs, something that's always important for so many of us. The beauty of this recipe lies in its simplicity. You are going to need pizza dough, store-bought or homemade, your choice. I'm going to put a link in the show notes for a wonderful pizza dough recipe, cherry pie filling, a few simple ingredients for the streusel topping. You're going to need flour, both white and brown sugar, and butter, and some basic pantry staples for the sweet icing drizzle. You're just going to need powdered sugar and milk. It's really easy to make. And for those of you watching your budget, I want to emphasize that this is the perfect recipe to keep in your back pocket for those times when you need an impressive dessert without spending a fortune. Using pre-made pizza dough and canned cherry pie filling keeps both the cost and preparation time down while still delivering that wonderful restaurant flavor. The preparation is straightforward, but it does involve a few key steps to ensure success. First, you want to blind bake the pizza crust for about 5 minutes. This prevents the center from becoming soggy once you add the cherry pie filling. Then you'll spread the cherry pie filling on top. Sprinkle over the buttery streusel topping, which is super easy to mix. You are simply going to add your flour, both of your sugars, and your butter together and combine them with a fork until you get this wonderful crumbly topping. And then you're going to bake it until the pizza dough is golden and the topping is bubbly. The final touch is that simple white icing drizzle that takes it over the top. I've heard from so many listeners who love making this for their kids and their grandkids. It's such a fun twist on their traditional pizza and dessert that kids absolutely love. Marilyn from Kansas told me that she makes it for her grandkids' sleepovers, and they think it's the most special treat. For those of you with dietary concerns, this recipe is wonderfully adaptable. You can use a gluten-free pizza crust if needed, or reduce the sugar in both the streusel and the icing by using sugar alternatives. I've even had listeners report success with dairy-free butter substitutes in the streusel topping. One tip that is particularly helpful that comes to mind from years of testing: make sure to let the cherry dessert pizza cool for about 10 minutes before adding the icing drizzle. If you add it while the pizza is too hot, it will simply melt and disappear into the topping rather than creating those beautiful white drizzles on top. Let me share a few delicious variations that our listeners have tried and loved. Some have used different pie fillings. Blueberry, which is my personal favorite, and apple are particularly popular alternatives. Others have added a sprinkle of sliced almonds into the streusel for some extra added crunch. And one clever listener mentioned adding a thin layer of cream cheese mixed with sugar beneath the cherry layer for a cheesecake-inspired twist. This dessert pizza is perfect for so many occasions. It's great for family pizza nights when you want something sweet to end the meal. It's wonderful for potlucks when you want to bring something different that'll really stand out. It even makes a lovely addition to brunch spreads. Storage is simple, while the cherry dessert pizza is best enjoyed fresh, right out of the oven. Any leftovers can be stored covered at room temperature for a day or refrigerated for up to 3 days. For those of you who like to plan ahead, you can prepare the streusel topping for up to a week in advance and keep it in the refrigerator. This sweet drizzle can be made a day ahead, but you will need to bring it to room temperature before using, and it may need to be thinned with a little bit of milk before using. What I love most about this recipe is how it transforms pizza. It's something that we typically think of as a savory dish into a delightful dessert that surprises and delights everyone who tries it. It's that unexpected twist that makes it so memorable. Well, there you have it. The secret to recreating CiCi's beloved cherry dessert pizza in your own kitchen for a fraction of the restaurant cost. Remember, you can always get the complete recipe either on copycat.com or by clicking the link in the show notes of this podcast. Until then, this is Stephanie Manley from copycat.com, helping you bring the restaurant experience home. Why go out when you can make it at home?